What's up, everyone? It's Justin here. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things that have surprised me while I've been living in Japan. But before I get started, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Alright, with that said, let's get started. Alright, starting off with number 1 on our list, we have Japanese drinking culture. So in Japan, you have your normal nomikai, which are drinking parties that a company will often have so the workers can get to know each other better and kind of build those relationships. On top of these normal nomikai, you also have bonenkai, which are forget the year parties, where you obviously go to the nomikai with your only goal being to forget the year. On top of that, at the nomikai, there's this idea of nomication, which nomication is a mix of the Japanese word nomu, which means to drink, and the English word communication. So nomication is this idea where when people start drinking, those normal social customs and everything that dictate what people say and do in everything life, those walls start to come down so people can more openly express their true feelings. On top of these nomikai, something else that also surprised me was that in Japan, people don't get carded when they buy alcohol. Coming from the US, where every time you go near an event or near a bar or anything where there's alcohol, you have to show an ID. But that has not been the case for me while I've been in Japan. Something else that really surprised me about the drinking culture was that you can basically drink wherever you want. I've actually seen people drinking on the train, even if it was just a short ride. Just someone relaxing and kicking back after a long day at work, drinking a beer. Alright, number 2 on the list is actually Japanese customer service. So this is actually something I think is already really famous outside of Japan, but something I just wanted to talk a little bit about because the stories are true. It really is amazing. Like, there's just something about forgetting something in the store and then the store clerk running out after you to try and return the item. It just feels a lot different from the US, where average customer service in the US is almost like bad customer service in Japan. Number 3 on our list is something you won't experience if you're just coming to Japan on vacation. So I'm working at a school in Japan, well, 4 schools to be exact. But something that really surprised me at school was that teachers don't always have a say in the school they end up working at. So in a city, usually all the teachers are hired by that city's Board of Education, and the Board of Education kind of sends the teachers out to different schools. Of course, the teachers can apply, say, I want to go to this school, or I want to be in this area of, say, of the city. But the final decision rests with the BOE. So there's a teacher who could be at a school for 1 year and then they get moved to another school. And there's also teachers who will be at the same school for 5 to 6 years before they get moved. And this was just something that really surprised me because in the US, teachers usually can stay at one school for as long as they want, or at least until they get fired. I can see the good things, like if this teacher is not getting along with the principal or other teachers, then it's really easy for them to move to another school where they may get along with that principal or other teachers and just might be a better fit for the school in general. But at the same time, the downside is if they're already have a good relationship with everyone at the school, getting moved and having to restart kind of, well, it just stinks, honestly. Alright, number 4 on our list is Katakana English. So for those who may not know, there's actually 3 writing systems in Japanese. The first is kanji, which are all the big, scary-looking characters that people usually associate with Japanese. The second is hiragana, and hiragana is all the phonetic sounds that make up Japanese. And the third is katakana, and katakana is also phonetic, but it's used for words that come to Japanese from another language, or in Japanese, gairaigo. So for example, the Japanese word for coffee is actually kohi. Kind of sounds like the English, doesn't it? Well, this can create a problem for Japanese people learning English when they don't know all the sounds in English, so they write katakana above English words to help with their pronunciation. So, for example, the simple phrase, I like baseball, becomes I like baseball. Now, this is simple, so it's easy to understand, but in more complex words, it can be kind of difficult for someone who's not familiar with the Japanese language to understand Japanese native speakers' English pronunciation if they're using katakana English. All right, number 5 on my list is getting told I was nihongojosu when I first came to Japan, when I was not nihongojosu. So nihongojosu actually means, oh, your Japanese is so good. And it's something Japanese people will say to non-native speakers of Japanese quite often. I think it's more of a reflection of how polite Japanese people are as opposed to how good someone's Japanese is. Because I've had situations where I've just done a quick self-introduction and immediately I just get praised for how good my Japanese is. Konnichiwa, Justin です。アメリカから来ました。よろしくお願いします。日本語上手ですね。こんにちは、ジャスティン・ウダードと申します。アメリカから来ました。よろしくお願いします。日本語上手ですね。こんにちは、ジャスティン・ウダードと申します。アメリカから参りました。よろしくお願いいたします。日本語上手ですね。やろう? Alright, that's it for the video today. If you enjoyed hearing me talk about the 5 things that surprised me about living in Japan, then go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment with what you thought of this video and any future videos you might like to see. See you next time. Mata ne.